What's up, everyone? It's Chris Honorado. It's Sean Bagnardi. It's Honorado and Bagnardi. A little rapid reaction here, Bags, on a Sunday night, week 6 of the NFL season. We are on at this time, though, specifically because our guy from Shen, Ian Anderson, pulled early from game 2 of the NLCS against the Dodgers. You could see in the conversation with Braves manager Brian Snitker in the dugout, he wasn't all that happy about it. We'll break all of that down, and we'll get into what has happened so far on this Sunday in the NFL, man.
What are you, in some kind of disguise? It's like Chris Incognito today. You look like you got the glasses, the hat. Have you watched You at all? The show You on Netflix?
No.
It's kind of about this creepy guy who, he basically is a stalker, and he when he's doing his stalking, he's got this standard blue hat that he's wearing. You kind of look like you're going out to do some stalking tonight. That's what it looks like. Yeah. What
this is no, this is Sunday. Haven't left the house. That's what this is, man. Hat, glass, didn't bother to put in the contacts. Not going to bother really fixing up the hair. Put on the hat, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, you look good. You look good. So okay, Ian Anderson, tell me what you saw tonight out of him, because I'm checking in on this game and I look up and he's already out of the game already. What's going on?
All right, Bags. Before we do that, you know we got more important things to do, and that's to tell the people why we're here doing rapid reaction.
This Honorado and Bagnardi Rapid Reaction is presented by Professional Fire Restoration.
All right, so you want the glow down here on Ian Anderson. Man, the struggles in the first inning make you crazy. As a lifelong Braves fan, essentially, Tom Glavine's my guy. He struggled in the first inning always. And Anderson, early on in his career, he's only 23 years old, kind of following that. A 6.38 ERA in the first inning, dramatically lower than that once he gets out of the first. The whip is way up in the first, and it's down anytime after that. So he just couldn't get through.
Sounds like a guy you shouldn't pull early.
Look, I'm with you. I'm not saying he should have been pulled. The second inning was good for Ian. The third inning, he then struggled again. And this is, what my first thought was when the TBS broadcast shows that Ian Anderson is going to get pulled and Brian Snitker is talking to him, my first thought was you. And what you always say, why do managers operate so dramatically differently in the postseason they do? If this was a regular season game, even if it was September, if this was a big game in September, Ian Anderson is staying in that game because it's only 2-0, and he seemed to have settled in. And now, because it's the playoffs, it's like, well, wait a minute, we got to do everything differently than we would even 2-3 weeks ago.
Right. So was it 55 pitches? Was that the number?
55 pitches.
55. Yep. Yeah. I mean, he's got plenty more gas in the tank. You feel bad for him because obviously he prepares all week for this huge start, and it's like it's going. Now, to play devil's advocate, you pinch hit for him, which is obviously not in like a big spot. You're just basically pinch hitting because you're taking him out of the game at that point, which is what I don't agree with. But I do understand you're going against Max Scherzer. Yeah, you gave up, really, for all intents and purposes, one bad pitch that sets you back in a 2-0 hole. But against Max Scherzer, that's a bigger hole than against others. So now you've got to look for offense in any area you can get it. The problem is you also still have to go out there and pitch and play defense the rest of the other innings. And what gives you the best chance to win? I think it's still having Ian out there for a couple more innings. So I don't agree with the early pull, and that's not just a kind of a homer thing on our end here because he's our guy. I'm with you because you're with me. I don't like how you do things totally differently come postseason time. Again, if you have to do things a little bit differently in certain scenarios, right? He might get an earlier hook in this type of game, or if he had walked the bases loaded and you take him out, that you understand because you can't play around in these games. But this isn't one of those situations. This feels like just being different for the sake of being different. Let's go up there and get a pinch hitter in a spot. We don't really need a pinch hitter, and Ian's coming out of the game. Didn't love it.
By the way, it looks like you are like in a nightclub or something. There's like mood lighting changing behind you off against that wall as the TV goes in and out of commercial or whatever.
That's what it is. So I felt like for the rapid reaction, I had to be in where I could have the TV on, but now we get a break in a commercial. So, all right, how about that?
No, you're good. I mean, look, I turned I turned my TV off just because I knew I'd get distracted here. But you're telling me Jock Peterson has tied the game at 2. That fires me up, man.
Yep.
So Ian's going to be off the hook. He won't get a decision either way here tonight in Game 2 of the NLCS. Francoeur and Darling and Brian Anderson all in the broadcast booth speculated, you know what? You make this move with the forethought of what Game 5 might look like in this series.
Right.
You can bring Anderson back faster now because you pull him out of this game sooner. Okay, fine. And look, the Braves don't have 4 starters they really like. They've got 3. So Anderson on Sunday, you get an off day on Monday. Charlie Morton's going Game 3. By Wednesday, can Fried go? And then Anderson, can you just...
That's overthinking it. You're overthinking it. And if you're saying, look, we need Anderson at a later time in this series because he gives us a better chance to win than some other guys, then no, you need him on the hill for the rest of this game when you're only down 2 runs, and now it's even tied. So it's like, no, if he's your best chance in 3 games from now, then he's your best chance tonight when you want to take advantage of your home field and go up 2-0. So that argument doesn't really work for me. I get it. You do want to think in the long term and manage for the playoff series in mind during each individual game, because one thing different now than the regular season is there are consequences for how you manage in the immediate future as opposed to the longer haul over the regular season. So again, some things I acknowledge have to be different, but for me, this was a bad one. If that's the reasoning, because you think he's your best option later on in this series, then he should be your best option tonight too.
Let's get to the NFL stuff here as the Braves play on in Game 2 of the NLCS, up 1-0 on the Dodgers. Giants are 1-5. Fans at MetLife today were booing. We'll get to Leonard Williams' comments about how he doesn't like the fact that they're getting booed at home. Okay, played better is always the simple answer, right? Win some games. This was worse than the final score, I think. The Rams just absolutely put it on New York today, and Daniel Jones reverts back to rookie year Daniel Jones, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble lost from the Giants quarterback. Ugly all the way around.
Yeah, and look, we predicted this would be ugly. The Rams are a really, really good football team, a top contender now in the NFC. I think they've really established that. And not that wasn't expected early on for this team, but they've established that they're going to meet some of those expectations. They're a good team. This is a tough game for the Giants coming off of the injuries that they have. Obviously, no Saquon still, not going to be for a while, but you do decide to bring Daniel Jones back. Didn't love that decision, honestly, because for what purpose? You're bringing him back to basically do this. I mean, if anyone is bringing him back with the thought that you're going to have some kind of expectation that isn't exactly what happened today, then I'm not sure what football you've been watching with this team. So didn't love that. Thought they could have just sacrificed this game anyway, since this was how this game was going to go, and given him another week, especially off a head injury. I'm not shocked by this result at all. We expected a blowout. That's what we got. Felt bad that Daniel Jones had to be in the middle of it when I don't think he should have been.
Yeah, look, I'm with you, man. When he started to turn the ball over a little bit today, I thought the same thing. He shouldn't even be in this game. Now, I'm not making the claim that the concussion and the head injury is why he turned it over 4 times. My thought was, this is a really good defense. They've got Aaron Donald, multiple NFL Defensive Player of the Year, wreaking havoc in the middle of that line. The guy has a head injury. Why are you putting him out there against this defense this week? And the turnovers bags could be just because of lack of preparation, because you're dealing with, hey, I need to pass protocol. I'm not out on the field. I'm not doing all the things that I normally would, being in the meetings and those types of things all week long. And so maybe that was the byproduct here, or the result of the head injury, not the fact that, he was physically affected by it, but maybe the preparation of it all that he missed during the week. And then obviously couple it with the fact that the Rams have a really good defense, as we've said here. So I'm with you. I think bad move by Joe Judge and the Giants here, a 1-4 football team. Not going to win this game anyway with the injuries they have on offense. Sterling Shepard did come back, but still, it just felt like a bad spot to put Jones back in there, give him some more time to get right, and then roll it back next week.
Right, because here's the thing. And early in the season, you like to overanalyze one game. Everybody does. It's like, well, what have we learned about the team this week? And now that we have another week under our belt, what's the new thing that we learned about this team as we continue to watch them evolve over the course of the season? Nothing. We learned nothing new about this Giants team today. And this basically wound up the way we thought, and we got nowhere from it. So, yeah, I'm with you. Didn't love it.
Was this the game of the day? Patriots and Cowboys go to overtime. It was the fourth quarter of the day. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Wild. Pick six, Trayvon Diggs to give Dallas the lead. Then the very next play, I believe it was the first one from scrimmage, Mac Jones goes 75 yards to Kendrick Bourne. And then the Patriots have a 3-point lead. And then the Cowboys go down 20 seconds left. They kick a field goal. Greg Zuerlein to tie and force overtime. And then a 35-yard touchdown pass. Dak Prescott to, was it CD Lamb that had?
Yeah, this is a big one for us because
yes,
spread was like in the middle, right? 4.5 or something like that for our NFL pick six. Yep. So if they win this thing by a field goal, which you're always watching in the fourth quarter, first of all, they're going to lose the game. Then it's like, are they going to be able to cover? No, they're actually going to need a touchdown to cover it. And then we, of course, get that in OT. So that was huge for us in our pick six because, as you mentioned, man, you're doing well. You're 4-0 heading into, we got the Sunday night and the Monday night game still on the docket here. And I'm 3-1. So I like our chances this week, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm eyeing the bigger season picture here. If I can pull a 5-1, I'm back to 500 on the season. So I needed that 4-0 start. But this is Dallas, and I said it on Thursday's show as we were making our picks. Dallas is going to win, but they're not going to win by as many as they should. They're not going to be as impressive as they should be against a very mediocre Patriots team. And that's exactly what played out here. First of all, I'm with you. I thought Dallas was going to lose this game the way it was trending, but they find a way to win. They're one of the best teams in the NFL, forget just the NFC. And while they under-delivered a little bit today, still, I think a really good win for a Cowboys team that hadn't beaten the Patriots. I know they don't play them every year, but they hadn't beaten the Patriots since 1996.
Right.
A long time. They lost 6 straight to New England.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it, too. And this is a road matchup for them. And when you talk about Belichick, you're going against Bill Belichick in Foxborough. I don't care how mediocre the team might be. That's still going to be a challenge, right, for you to try to come out and win that one. And they did. So, look, we are now, I think, all on Dallas, right, in this division. I mean, you were on Washington early. Now there's no question Dallas has emerged as a clear favorite in this division, and pending some sort of serious injury, like, of course, they had last year to Dak Prescott, we would expect them to come out on top here and not even really be threatened, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I did pick Washington to win this division mostly on their defense. But then you get the Fitzpatrick injury and you can forget it. And Dallas has just played well enough that no one's going to catch them at this point in that division. Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, that's an overtime game. There's been an overtime game each and every week this season. There have been 10 so far this year. We had 2 in week 6. The Vikings win in overtime as well. How about the Cardinals, man? They stay undefeated. They didn't have their head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, on the sideline. He tested positive for COVID. Arizona goes to 6-0. And the Jags get their first win of the year of 2021, man. In London, of course, which is, kind of their home away from
their new home. Yeah. First of all, with them, it was bound to happen. They certainly are not bad enough to take an over. And they've been in some games this year and had their chances. Miami's not a great team. This was one that was a toss-up down the stretch, and credit Jacksonville for pulling it out. But the Cardinals, they're the surprise for me. I know expectations were high coming in, but in a tough division there, the Rams are obviously still going to be a factor, and you don't want to have to deal with the 49ers. And even Seattle's tough, especially when they have Russell Wilson in there. There are no easy games in that division, but this team, I mean, look, they've already beaten the Rams this season, and now I'm okay with I'm good now on my pick about Cleveland. I feel like I've seen enough out of this Browns team, man, to know that this is not the special team that a lot of people maybe were hoping they could be. They're just sort of the Cleveland Browns, But for the Cardinals,
and they are banged up. They didn't have Nick Chubb today. So and defensively, they're a little banged up, but I'm with you. This is a 3-3 football team now in Cleveland. It's a big year for Baker Mayfield in terms of, is he getting that next contract? Like, there are a lot of things in play here, Sean, that aren't just, hey, can Cleveland advance to the AFC Championship game or beyond. The future of this franchise will be determined a lot by what happens the rest of the year and the way Baker Mayfield plays. He's in year 4 of what is a 5-year rookie contract. This is a big, big year for Mayfield.
Yeah, there were people, I think, early in the season who had them really high up. Like, this could be a team that really maybe threatens Kansas City or Buffalo or the Ravens, and you're not putting them ahead of any of those 3 teams at this point. So a little bit of a disappointment there, I think, for most. Not for me, man. I was on this Cleveland Browns team. But the Cardinals, that's what I want to talk about. They have been really, really good, obviously, 6-0. But it's more than just winning their games. It's the kind of team that you really see sort of coming together there. And I like that, man. I think they're going to have really something to say and be a really tough out come playoff time for the NFC. And while many may not have really had them at the top of the power ranking in the NFC, they may be the one team now that those other top teams in that conference don't want to play in the postseason.
But if I give you Arizona, Dallas, Green Bay, and the Rams, who are you taking?
Tampa Bay. And then I
know Tampa Bay. That's why I didn't include them.
Yeah. And then Green Bay, because if you still have if you have Aaron Rodgers, and they're racking up the wins now to the point where it's looking like they're probably going to get, one game at home in the postseason, which you'd expect to be an automatic win if they're at Lambeau. And then, we'll see what happens after that. But I would still take Green Bay. And in a postseason game, Cardinals, Rams, I would still lean Rams at this point. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're Tampa, you might be looking at the Cardinals right now and asking yourself this question, which I don't think a lot of people would have thought maybe just a little bit earlier in this season.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kyler Murray just creates all kinds of problems for you defensively. And speaking of, and the Cardinals are pretty good defensively too. The addition of J.J. Watt is working out over there in Arizona. All right, Bags, what's the score update there that I'm seeing is how I've turned off my TV?
You turned yours
off too.
I was in a nightclub here. It's coming back right now. Cable box was still on. 2-2, top 5. Dodgers got a guy in second, but 2 outs, so you can get out of this inning, all right?
All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to watch the rest from bed because at some point I need to fall asleep before getting up at 1:30.
These Sundays are killing you. Good luck tonight, man. You go up 2-0, game changer.
I don't need to remind you, though, or at least I don't need to remind myself. The Braves last year in the NLCS were up 2-0 and 3-1 and couldn't close the deal against the Dodgers.
Still better than 1-1.
Still better than 1-1, especially going to LA for 3 straight. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, here on Honorado and Bagnardi's Rapid Reaction presented by Professional Fire Restoration on the News Channel 13 Facebook and Twitter pages. Look out for us each and every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. in those same 2 locations. So see you later, Bags.